All right, so welcome to Talking Dubs, the who, what, where, when, and why of Winfield Agricultural Education. I am Mr. Ryan Riley, and with me is Mr. Peyton Arthur.
It's great to be with you today.
So as we are getting started, we just kind of wanted to get what we're trying to go for here on this podcast. This is nothing crazy, nothing out of left field. We're just going to try to help you get to know us, what we see on a daily basis, since you either are not with us at all during the week or you're going to be with us only 2 days a week. So we're just trying to give you kind of a background on what's happening. Mr. Arthur, is there anything you want to add about that?
No, just a great way to connect with our FFA members and class students who are not going to be with us every day. So hopefully this will be a way for them to stay connected with us.
Absolutely. So that's kind of about us. That's kind of where we're trying to go. First segment we're going to do is highlights of the week. Anything that's crazy that might have happened during this week, we're going to just kind of give it a shout out here. Talk any maybe interesting stories or things that we could talk about that won't get us fired, right, Mr. Arthur?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you think of anything crazy?
I think this week biggest highlight is just the media attention that we've been getting in the local media about our successes of the past year, the successes of our students and how well they've done in their contest. And so I think being able to be promoted in the way that we have been is very positive for us. And so I hope our students are seeing those in the Winn Parish Journal and in the Winn Parish Enterprise.
Absolutely. And the successes that really are highlighted most, that I'm most excited about, is area sweepstakes.
Absolutely.
Area sweepstakes is something that, Winfield Senior High School has won before. But it's been, what we look at, about 20, 25 years?
Roughly 20 years, yeah.
Yeah, so that, for a guy that grew up loving CDEs, you would go to state convention, and they would have the area sweepstakes and state sweepstakes winners, and you're just always looked at those and you're like, oh wow. And I
want to be that chapter.
You want to be that chapter, right? And that's just something that I wanted to always strive for, but it was kind of a goal that I didn't know. And I'm just getting here. I had no contribution to that, but I think it's something that we could strive for yearly.
Absolutely. And what's so exciting, I think, is that how close we are to state sweepstakes, and just a little more effort and getting some buy-in from our students, and we can be right there at the top.
Absolutely. Because I think if we go through this year and we have anything close to a normal year when it gets to spring contest, I think we're going to be dangerous. Yeah, sweepstakes, for those of you that don't know, you get points for every top 4 finish you get in the area and at the state level. So you are getting 4 points for a first place banner, 3 points for a second place banner, and so on. And that is just cumulative over the year. And so the more pieces of felt, the more pennants that we earn, the more points we get towards sweepstakes.
Yeah.
Something that I thought when I was first hearing about it as a freshman, sophomore in school was that you won money for the chapter. That is absolutely not the case.
Nope.
I thought we were about to go on a shopping spree. That's when you think sweepstakes.
Oh, absolutely. We get something a little more valuable. We get pride.
Pride, yes. Yes, you can't put a price on pride.
That's right. Cannot do it.
That takes us to agriculture news, ag ed news, FFA news, anything that's happening at the local, district, area, state, or national levels, pretty much in FFA. I know.
I'm going to let you start that one off. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to start with the depressing news. I guess I'm going to get that.
Yeah. I was wondering if we were going to go there.
Yeah, I'm going to go there. This is getting the word out to the singles of people that are going to listen to this. As of yesterday, we have gotten word that our poultry competition and our livestock competition has been postponed. But postponed definitely. It is going to still happen, but will not happen.
Postponed definitely.
Yeah, keeping it real, keeping it keeping it tight. We're going to be postponed definitely, but it will be not face-to-face. It will be a virtual contest, which for all of our meets, electricity, conduct of chapter meetings, all of those people are like, well, we've done that before.
Right.
So it's something that we can still be very successful at.
I think they're going to adapt pretty well to this new idea of virtual.
I think so. I really think so. The other news that we know of is that area officer things are happening soon. We just don't know.
Yep. Soon. Hopefully sooner than later. Would they tell us the 19th we should know something?
The 19th we should know something. As I'm seeing here, yes. I'm also, Mr. Arthur, going through our Wednesday update that just got posted.
Oh, okay. I missed that.
Coming in hot. Hope Berry wins the NAAE award for teacher mentor.
She did. She actually won 2 national awards. It's pretty impressive.
That is awesome. And where's Hope teaching at?
Bell City.
Yeah.
So a very, very small school, similar to the size of Dodson. So very impressive on her part.
That's big time. That's big. All right. So I see that the College of Ag at LSU is offering virtual visits.
They're also looking for students who are interested in majoring in agriculture, not dedicated to going to LSU, but just interested in agriculture, to be part of their student mentor program. And so they would have some of their ambassadors call students once a month, check in on them, see how they're doing, maybe expose them to some agriculture majors and topics that they're not used to. So I think if anyone in our chapter is interested in that, I think it'd be a great program. Yeah,
I think that's awesome. And do you know if this is live or would it be a taped tour?
I haven't read the email that you're specifically referring to. I did talk to the assistant dean the other day, and she let me know that if we were interested in having some ambassadors like talk to our classes, that they would come and do like a Zoom meeting into our class. So I know that would be live. I'm not sure, like I said, what the email that you're looking at is saying. They are offering some live things.
Mr. Arthur, I'm thinking lecture room. I'm thinking socially distanced, but have like 50 FFA members in there.
Absolutely.
Hearing LSU people talk, that's going to be big. That's going to be cool. Yep. Ending this is ag teaching jobs that your ag teachers are not going to apply for.
That's right. And first at the top of the list is...
Coming in too hot, Mr. Arthur. Too hot.
Anywhere.
Yeah, Mr. Arthur's hoping this is going in the trash can, but it is going up live.
Yay.
All right, Mr. Arthur. I'm going to pull up this real quick. I want you to be thinking about, this is where y'all are going to get to know us just a little bit better, know a little bit more personal information. I want us to share a couple of our favorite quotes.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so take your time. Look up what you need to. One thing that I think people hear some of their mentors, some of their teachers say favorite quotes. It's important for kids to know that we don't have those memorized.
Oh, absolutely not. I got too many other things to do besides memorize quotes, but I do have some favorites.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I just want to kind of see where our head is at on this kind of stuff, and just see kind of our... I'm having a hard time putting it into words. I just want you to know more about us through avenues that we like, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm going to start with a couple that I got when I watched The Last Dance. I was a big fan of The Last Dance.
Yeah.
Like, it got me so hyped thinking about, because Mr. Arthur doesn't know this, but when I was 4 years old, I had a Chicago Bulls sweatshirt. And like, that meant so much to me, and I didn't have a clue what was going on. You know what I mean? Like, seeing that black sweatshirt, that I can still see it in my head, the white Chicago Bulls lettering, and then that, I'm just going to say it, that ugly bull, that ugly Taurus right there, man. Just, anyway, so like that really spoke to me because it gave me insight on things that I didn't have a clue. Like I would have been 7 that year that they won that 6th title, and Last Dance. I don't know, man. It is something special. But I had a couple of Michael Jordan quotes.
Big difference.
The wrong MJ.
Yep.
Had a couple of Jordan quotes, and one of them was, "Why would I think about missing a shot that I haven't taken yet?"
Mm-hmm.
And that's wow. Like just
a completely different spin on the Michael Scott quote. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Absolutely different Michael. Yeah, for sure. This one, it just made me think, and like I stopped it. I was watching it on Netflix. I stopped it. I went back a couple of frames. I had to type that out word for word because I just think about, I've never really pressed for much in my life. I've always worked hard, but like I just let doors open.
Right.
And so I'm thinking about this, and coming into a new job. You're going into year 2 of a job, and we're going to straight up miss some shots. Like there's no way about.
Oh, absolutely.
We're definitely going to miss, but the thing is, we're going to go for it.
Mm-hmm. Every time we're going to go, and we're going to go hard. And I'm not going to worry about the ones I'm going to miss. Mm-hmm.
I'm going to line up. I'm going to tuck the elbow, and I'm going to go for it. And the other one, have you come up with any, Mr. Arthur?
I've got 3 here.
Okay. Well, that's perfect. I had 3 that I wanted to. Well, I'm going to do 3. You can do 3, and then I have a bonus one from this summer. I think you're going to enjoy.
Well, I also have a bonus on backup. But, I didn't know how many you had, so I didn't want to go too far.
Right. Another Jordan quote was, "When you do something repetitively, you lose some of the hunger, some of the edge." And
that's so true.
That's so true, man.
Coming from a serious competitor.
Coming from serious competitors, man, like that's like he did it, and that was going into that last year. He'd done something so many times. He had went through so much, and that was the other thing. I didn't know all the adversity that he went through.
Yeah.
I knew the stuff about, I've seen it on billboards, he didn't make his freshman team.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't make his freshman team, whatever. But then, the stuff with his dad and all that, like I had no idea. And
I have not watched the documentary on him yet, but it's on my favorites list on Netflix when I get some time. Because, like I said, he's a competitor, and I'll talk a little bit about that. I mean, I'm a huge basketball fan.
Right.
So to hear the 2 basketball quotes come from you on the first episode of our podcast, I think that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I'll also let you know that this is a running note on my phone. And I have one that's from a couple of years back, and I guess I hadn't edited it in a while, so I made a new one. And for some reason, Mr. Arthur, I guess it's just hanging out with you. This thing is full of basketball quotes. And because for some reason, Last Dance went into Hoosiers. I'm not sure why, but it just did.
Yeah.
It just happened. If you don't watch Hoosiers once a year, what are you doing with your life? You know what I mean?
I'll tell you this, and I probably shouldn't say this on podcast, but if Dr. Griffin hears this, we had a half a day before Christmas last year up here, and my freshman had never seen Hoosiers. So we watched Hoosiers in class, and they stayed for like 3 class periods to watch Hoosiers, and they loved it. So, yeah, Hoosiers is definitely a must-watch at least once a year, if not more.
Yeah, at least. Like, to think about that repetitive drive, to think about Coach Normandale, to think about what I say about, think about the shots you haven't taken yet.
Yeah.
Like, wow. Like, oh, Normandale. Anyway, goals right there. I didn't come down here to talk to you and make you join the team. I don't care if you play. Like, whatever. But my last quote before the bonus. Anyway, Phil Jackson, you're only a success at the moment you perform a successful act. I think we started this talking about sweepstakes, and I'm so happy and I'm so joyful. And, we covered it well. the Journal covered it well. Here's hoping the Enterprise covers it well tomorrow or today, but it doesn't. Next Monday we start class.
That's right.
We start 2020, 2021, and I hope that's the only time I say that sequence of numbers on a recording because I cannot stand those four 20s back to back to back to back. But anyway, I think it's very important, to keep pushing forward, to not get caught up in successes, and that was something that Mr. Vines really, I think he took to heart,
Absolutely.
Before Phil Jackson said that, because, when we were going through and making all these, historical, gathering all that data of all the things that he's won, he's won so much, he can't remember everything he won.
That's right.
And that's nothing, on his memory. That's just, he's won that much.
Mm-hmm.
And what was he doing this summer? Pushing teams.
Yes, absolutely. All the way to the very end of his career. Pushing teams.
Yeah. And so I just think that's something, if you take those three quotes and put them together, that's something that we can all learn from. That's something that, Steve Vines has pushed the Winfield FFA to do. And that's, the same kind of thing that we're going to push for.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, all right, Mr. Arthur, let's hear.
All right, so it's kind of ironic. I only have 2 basketball quotes and then I need 2 country music quotes.
Goodness.
I'm going to start with the country music, get that out of the way, and then we'll go into basketball. So the first one is a Reba McEntire quote that I think Mr. Riley can vouch for. This is how I live my life every day. To succeed in life, you need 3 things: a wishbone, a backbone, and a funny bone.
Yes.
I think that it embraces my entire life. I love to laugh. I love to have fun, and I am more than a wishful thinker. The second one, a little more serious, but also from the queen of country music, Dolly Parton. If your actions create a legacy that inspires others to dream more, learn more, do more, and become more, then you are an excellent leader. And so I apply that. If you ever get an email from me, which I'm sure as a student you will, that's at the bottom of my email. Just so happens that comes from one of my favorite country music artists. But I think it's so important that we model our lives to be excellent leaders. No matter what job you go into, what career path you take, every path needs a leader. And so I think FFA models students to become leaders, molds them into becoming leaders. And so the more positive energy about leaders we put out, the better our students are going to be. So now to my 2 basketball quotes. I have a book in my office called Quotes from the Summitt, which is a Pat Summitt quotes collected. And for those of you who don't know who Pat Summitt is, Pat Summitt coached the University of Tennessee, coached the women's basketball team for 38 years, had 161 players come through her program. It stayed the entire 4 years, and all of them graduated. 100% graduation rate. She won 8 national championships, made it to 18 Final Fours, never missed an NCAA tournament appearance. And so she is really what I think everybody would call the coach of the century. She's a model of excellence for so many. And I think on what relates to our circumstances, that was Mr. Vines as an ag teacher. He was the ag teacher of the century. And so being able to step in behind him and continue that legacy and that tradition of excellence is something I take very seriously. And so I often refer to Pat Summitt and her quotes and her book to give me the push I need to finish the day. And so I have 2 quotes, both of which are kind of serious in nature. But the first one says, when you understand yourself and those around you, you're better able to minimize weaknesses and maximize strength. I think that's very important for Mr. Riley and myself to better understand each other. We've spent the entire summer together, and learned about ourselves and what I do best and what he does best, and we're making it work. And I think you would agree with that, Mr. Riley.
Yeah, I think making it work is it's almost has a negative connotation to that.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, absolutely.
Coach Hardaway, report to the office, please.
We're definitely leaving that in. And
Oh, absolutely. Coach Hardaway has to go to the office.
Coach Hardaway, we'll let him know. We'll send smoke signals. But and I don't want anybody to take that negatively. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. And I guess I should have worded it better. We're making it successful. I guess I don't know how to put it. Maybe a better word.
I mean, I think you said it correctly, but just in how we take making it work. That's like when these little kids are like trying to date somebody that's like 9 years older than them. They're like, we're making it work.
Yeah.
But yeah, I dude, that's fire. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
And like I tell you, if you're in my class, you're probably going to see Pat Summitt quotes in PowerPoints, or you may see me mention them in class. I think when we try to, and of course you never want to mimic somebody, but when you model yourself and take pages from other people's playbooks, it makes you a better leader. And so the last quote I have is very short, that Pat Summitt said in a letter to one of her players. She said, "Find your passion and never let go of it." And so I think both Mr. Riley and I have found our passion here at Winfield. We found our passion for ag teaching, and we are not letting go until we get to the top, and we're probably not going to let go after that. And I tell all of my students that come into my classroom, you may not go into a field of agriculture, and that is okay. We need other people, but find that passion, use the information that you learned in ag throughout your life. But hopefully ag can help you find that passion that that you desire. I know when I was growing up, I always wanted to be a teacher, and people told me that, that was not the correct career path.
Yeah.
The money wasn't there, or, real men don't teach, or they can throw so many negatives at you for teachers. But I knew that's what I wanted to do. That was my passion. And so the entire time I was in school, I held on to that. And so I encourage all the students to find that passion and just, like she said, never let go.
I think that's something that I think we are trying to push into kids' minds pretty hard, just judging by, the things that we're getting ready right now, is that, you came from agriculture, but it was like, yeah, it's there. It's whatever. Sometimes I eat a cow that was in the front yard. It's fine. Not a big deal.
Totally fine. Yeah.
And I knew a steak came from a cow.
Right.
And that was, I think if you were going to give, a 10 seconds of how we felt about agriculture, that was it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And
it was a way of life for me. I didn't know anything else.
Right. And, if that was in your future, that's fine. If it wasn't in your future, that was fine.
Yeah.
That was just what, growing up was like. And, to show kids everything.
Daphne, come to the office for a moment.
Did she say Miss Daphne?
She did.
Was Miss Daphne not in the office?
I don't ask questions.
Oh, man. I just, we were two smart kids.
Yeah.
We were two kids that were at the top of our class. We were the two kids, about an hour and a half apart, about 8 years apart, 6 years apart. But we had so similar of smart kids become lawyers, smart kids become doctors. You can either have an honest work, or you can go and stay in school for 12 years and become a doctor. Yeah. And that was the two paths that you could go. That was the two paths diverging in the woods, Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And boy, me and you are just like, okay, let's get a bulldozer and we'll just go right down the center, because we don't like either one of those.
We don't like either one of them. Right.
That really, I think, favorite quotes is going to be my favorite part of this. I think that shows personality way better than anything else we could do. I'm going to move into Why Is This, our last segment. Why Is This is where you're going to see the nerdy side of me and Mr. Arthur.
Can't wait.
This is where Mr. Riley is about to give Mr. Arthur something music related. Music had to have the music I give you had to have happened post my birth. Okay, so
And that's a struggle for Mr. Arthur.
that is a struggle hard for Mr. Arthur. So any band I give you, any music I give you will be post 1990.
Okay.
Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you one band name,
Okay.
and you are going to guess the genre that Wikipedia has it listed. So,
okay.
okay. So if you Google any band, if you Google the Beatles, let me do it right now. I'm going to Google the Beatles, and on Wikipedia, it's going to say the Beatles were an English rock band.
Okay.
Okay. So that's kind of the goal. So I'm gonna give you a band name, and you have to guess what it's gonna say next. Okay, so is a country western singer, is a whatever.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So, and after we do this, we'll explain. We'll explain what my guessing will be.
Okay.
Mr. Arthur, Kings of Convenience is your band name.
Kings of Convenience.
Yeah.
Disclaimer: I have never heard of this band.
This band really speaks to me on an emotional level, and I'll explain when you guess. But this is probably the worst band I've ever heard.
Okay, so I'm gonna give, just before I answer the question, just so everyone knows, I don't explore music like I should, and so I'm not even sure what all genres there are. So when you said, I think you said Kings of Convenience.
Yeah, like King, not Queen, and then convenience store like Conoco.
Yeah. Okay. So like Conoco, Winfield. Okay. So the first thing I think of is like scream music.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go with that.
Scream music,
screamo, whatever y'all call it. I don't know.
Oh my gosh, this is gonna be fun. So. Am
I gonna give you a song by these people, or do I just need to look it up later?
We'll look it up later.
Okay.
This technically could be copy stricken.
True.
It says they're still active. It says they are from Bergen, Norway. But
one of those.
When me and Bethany started dating, we would go to the mall and like walk around and such. And we went into a FYE. We were looking at music, and we were just going to buy a random song, a random album, and we're just going to go and listen to it. We bought a Kings of Convenience album, and it was the worst thing I've ever heard. Like, it is so bad.
So you picked a random album off the shelf?
Yeah, and that was like, it was like a clearance thing. It was like $2 or whatever. So we just thought it'd be fun, to buy something, go put it in the truck, listen to it, and go get a Coke or something. And like that was date night in the early 2010s. You know what I mean?
Okay. And
it was so bad. But according to Wikipedia, it is an indie folk pop duo. Okay. And the people are Norwegian names that I cannot pronounce.
Absolutely, and that's totally understandable.
Because my English does not tell me what a O, the letter O with a line through it. I have no idea what that is. Like that, that looks like an A that got hit with a baseball bat. Like that looks rough. But and the crazy thing is, I like indie pop, I like folk. Together from Norwegian, it's kind of rough. It's kind of
I like folk music.
Yeah.
I have no idea what indie pop is, so I'll have to write that down and look that up later.
Basically, it's pop music, and the person doesn't have a label. That they're an independent.
So not like India. Oh, okay. Independent. I'm feeling it. Okay. Next.
Yeah, and that's how it started. That's how indie started. But like, I see that they've had 3 different labels. So it's whatever.
Okay.
That's it, Mr. Arthur. That's it for guessing music. So now,
I may have too much content prepared then. So
Well, we can table some, whatever.
Okay, yeah. All right. So, Mr. Riley and I have talked about what I'm supposed to do here, and so what I've come up with is I am very passionate about women's basketball. I love women's basketball. I think that's kind of a nature nurture thing. I was brought up watching a lot of games, and the women were more successful at the high schools that I attended games at. So I just think I kind of fell in that direction. I think women's basketball also interests me because it's on a lot smaller scale than men's basketball, and so it's a more of a tight knit community. When I was at LSU, I had season tickets all 4 years, and we would have season ticket meetings or something, and there would be like 40 people. So it's a really small, tight knit community. But so what I've been asked to do is to ask Mr. Riley a couple questions about maybe some famous women's coaches, players, maybe a little bit of history, and see if he can get the right answer. Did I understand that correctly?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So I have 3, and we're going to go from toughest to easiest because I want to go out on a high. Okay?
Okay, pressure. Oh, man.
Hardest one.
Oh, gosh.
And all of these have a common theme together today, okay?
I love it. Okay.
I'm going to say the name of a coach, and you tell me the university. If you get all 3 of these right, I'm really going to have to step my game up.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Vivian Stringer.
Vivian
She's still
Stringer.
active.
Okay, active. So it's her current university.
Yeah, her current. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can I ask some questions?
I'll answer them the best of my ability.
Okay. If let's just say very basically, if you use Mississippi River, is it east of the Mississippi?
Yes.
Okay. All right. It felt like it was over there. What's her name?
Vivian Stringer.
Vivian Stringer. Okay. I'm thinking. I'm not thinking land grant. I'm thinking coastal.
Okay.
I'm thinking. I'm gonna go. Ooh, I'm feeling Carolinas. I'm gonna go USC of the East. I'm going to go University of South Carolina.
Okay. No.
Yeah. Well, and I went. I said no land grant, and I went land grant. It's whatever.
Yeah,
it's
not whatever. Coach Stringer is at Rutgers.
Oh.
And has been at Rutgers for quite a few years.
Jersey. Gosh.
Yeah, Jersey.
Up the coast. I was right. It was coastal.
You got it. University of South Carolina is what you said, correct?
Yes.
So I'll just give you some history lesson here. Dawn Staley is at University of South Carolina, played at Virginia, and has won a national championship and brought that program back. So let's go. Just keep it on the same theme here with Vivian Stringer.
Okay.
The first women's basketball national tournament hosted by the NCAA was in 1982. What school made it to the finals coached by Vivian Stringer? And it is not Rutgers. This was one of her first, I think her first job.
Is it Old Dominion?
It is not. An excellent guess, though. Excellent guess. Old Dominion actually hosted the tournament.
Yeah.
But
That's
it was Cheney State, which is an HBCU. I think it's in Pennsylvania. I'm almost sure about that. And that was her first job. And first tournament right out of the gate, she takes the team all the way. And so very impressive. But has since moved on to Rutgers. So the last question I'm going to ask, and if you can't get this right, Mr. Riley, I just don't know what I'm going to do with myself.
Oh, gosh.
The MVP of the 1982 tournament is the only player in the women's game to win a national championship as a player, assistant coach, and a coach. What is her name, and what university is she at?
Currently. Is that my girl, Kim Mulkey?
That is your girl, Kim Mulkey.
Yeah. Woo.
Kim Mulkey played at Louisiana Tech in the 80s. Made it, I think, to 3 championship games, won 2 of them at Louisiana Tech, and has now moved on to Baylor. She won as a player and an assistant coach at Louisiana Tech, and then has won in 2005, 12, and 19 at Baylor University.
Straight
Excellent
up
job.
Straight
Yes.
up star.
Louisiana native
My girl from Hammond.
from Hammond, all the way from Hammond.
All right. Well, I had so much fun.
I did too. That was a blast.
Yeah, this was a great time. I am going to wrap it up like this. If my final quote that I wanted to say, and I think this really sets us up, Mr. Arthur is going to chuckle, and then I'm going to get us out of here. This quote happened in town. I'm definitely not saying where. I'm definitely not saying when. But the quote goes as such: I can't say about the future because that I don't know. So
Because that I don't know.
that I don't know. There's a lot of things we know. The future is one that we don't. If y'all have anything that y'all need from us, this is going to be posted, I think, on our Google Classrooms in some edited form where we definitely don't get fired. And
That's right.
If you have anything, reach out to us by email, Google Classroom. We are here for you.
Absolutely.
We have worked so hard this summer to make it where you can step into this program and be successful.
Mhm.
There's only one missing key, and that's you. Okay? So we are doing everything we can to facilitate your awesomeness. So
That's right.
if y'all have anything, y'all just reach out to us and we can do what we can. I'm going to say this. I love y'all. And that's it. Mr. Arthur, you got anything?
Nope, just echoing that. We are so excited for this upcoming year. We've given this program everything that we've got this summer, and we know that with your help and all of you guys' help, this is going to be a very successful year. We appreciate you, and we cannot wait to have you in class.
All right. So this podcast was brought to you by Old McDonald's Tea. It is now watered down, and it's time for lunch. So
Amen.
see y'all later.